Hey guys, welcome back. So tomorrow is going to be our final community day of 2019, which is going to be featuring all the Pokemon that we had throughout the year. So there you go. You guys see them on your screen. We got Trapinch, Swinub, Bagon, Ralts, Slackoth, Turtwig, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip, Totodile, and Chimchar. But that's not all we're going to be having. We're also going to be having some other awesome rewards alongside this. So we got loads to talk about in this video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about all the bonuses that we're gonna get throughout the 2 days, as well as Pokemon that I think you should personally invest a bit more on than others. So I know I didn't get a chance to make this video before, and I wish I had made this video much earlier, because I'm pretty sure by now a lot of people have already covered all this and what Pokemon to work on. But nonetheless, I still want to make my take on it, and help those who have yet to see the other videos that still follow me, and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, if you guys are excited for the 2019 Community Day, our final Community Day for 2019. Hit that like button, subscribe, and it's currently live in, I believe, Australia. I know Starseek. Wow, I am sucking with my words today. Starseek is streaming doing a 12-hour live stream. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, be sure to check that out. For sure, to give her some support, tell that Ladio sent you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and read this. So, trainers, December Community Day 2019 starts tomorrow, ending an excellent Pokemon Go year in style. So, in order to help you understand what's going on, we prepared a quick summary of Saturday and Sunday's bonuses with a list of Pokemon whose appearances will be increased. And by the way, this guide here is on Pokemon Go Hub, of course, which I always like to go on upon these. So, if you're looking for a guide on the best Pokemon to catch and evolve during December Community Day, we suggest you read our December Community 2019 tier list guide. Okay, so there's a tier list basically on which Pokemon we're gonna that's gonna be really good for raids, for PvP, which we'll look into that a little bit later. So first off, we're gonna go over the we're gonna pretty much go over what moves that we're gonna be able to obtain and all the bonuses we get. So actually, there's a list right here of all the moves you can get right here. So let's go ahead and open up the screen real quick. As soon as it loads, we're going to go ahead and go over that. So you guys see here, these are the community Pokemon feature that we're going to be getting. So what we're going to have is we're going to have the 2019 spawns community Pokemon in the wild. And then we're also going to be able to have access to the 2018 Pokemon from last year. Though those are going to only be available in raids and eggs for the most part. So moves we got Pikachu with Surf, Dratini with Draco Meteor, sorry, Bulbasaur with Frenzy Plant, Charmander with Blast Burn, Squirtle with Hydro Cannon, Eevee with Last Resort, Chikorita with Frenzy Plant, Marie with Dragon Pulse, Beldum with Meteor Mash, Cyndaquil with Blast Burn, Totodile with Hydro Cannon, Swinub with Ancient Power, Trico with Frenzy Plant. We got Mudkip with Hydro Cannon, Ralts, well, basically Gallade and Gardevoir with Synchro Noise. We got Turtwigs with Frenzy Plant, Bagon with Outrage, Torchic, Blast Burn, Slack Out Body Slam, Trapinch, Earth Power, and finally Chimchar with Blast Burn. So that's just a little graph here. So here's the bonuses. So from 9 a.m. on Saturday to 9 p.m. on Sunday in your local time zone, these bonuses are going to be in effect. So you're going to be able to evolve. You can be able to evolve for Community Day exclusive moves, and we will be able to evolve from 2018 and 2019. So that's gonna be pretty awesome. And then enjoy Community Day level of Pokemon spawns from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. local time, and then enjoy shiny hunting as Community Day Pokemon are not shiny locks. So it's going to be a full day event to be able to play. And the Community Day out from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. local time, you'll be able to gain those bonuses. So that's going to be basically where you get the extra Stardust, the XP, and the egg distance for sure. So here we go. So starting tomorrow on Saturday, December 14th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. local time, experience the following bonuses and increased encounters. So we're going to have Torchic, Swinub, Trico, Torchic, Slackoff, and Bagon in the wild more frequently. And bonuses are going to be 2 times catch Stardust, 2 times catch XP, and 1/2 eggs distance when eggs are placed into incubator during these hours. So remember, if you want to get the distance cut, you have to incubate your eggs beginning at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. between those hours to get the hatch distance cut. So keep that in mind. And then and then they showcase the graph of all the Pokemon that's gonna be available in the wild. So there you go. And then these are going to be the Pokemon that are going to be in raids. So we got Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Eevee, Dratini, Chikorita, Mareep, Larvitar, and Beldum. And then eggs, we're going to have Bulbasaur, Charmander, Pichu. Which, by the way, guys, if you do evolve Pichu into Pikachu, you will be able to receive Pikachu with Surf, so keep that in mind. It will not apply to Raichu. It will only go to Pikachu. We got Dratini, Totodile, Mareep, Swinub, Larvitar, Trico, Torchic, Slackoth, and Bagon. So those are the Pokemon that are going to be in eggs for Saturday. Now, going into Sunday, December, so these are the following Pokemon that are going to be more frequent in the wild. We're going to have Mudkip, Ralts, Trapinch, Turtwig, and Chimchar. And then the same bonuses from Saturday is also going to be applying into Sunday. So, and then they're going to be featuring pretty much all the same spawns from before. So, and then in raids, just about the same thing. There you go. And then in eggs, these are the Pokemon you'll be able to hatch out of the eggs more frequently. So there you go, guys. So now let's go ahead and open up that other article in which they go into a tier guide about which ones you're going to want to go. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and talk about which Pokemon. We're going to basically be going over which Pokemon are going to be good, are going to be really worth doing, or rather evolving to get those exclusive moves. And, you know, all that such. So let's go into it. And this is going to be basically regarding Pokemon that are going to be good for PvP and Pokemon that would be good for PvE, like for gyms and raids. So there you go. So let's get into it. So first off, we got for raids and gyms, Metagross with Meteor Mash. So obviously you get your Beldum to evolve into Metang, into Metagross. I agree with this because Metagross with Meteor Mash is a force to be reckoned with. It is definitely something you definitely want to get your hands on for sure. It's a fantastic option for sure for raids. So keep that in mind. Then we got Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, another fantastic option of Pokemon. It's a very solid grass type for sure with that Frenzy Plant that's going to be able to put out damage and be able to do pretty well with that grass poison typing in particular. And I personally have used Frenzy Plant Venusaur. I call them Frenzysaurs because they had Frenzy Plant, and I'm going to tell you guys, Venusaur Frenzy Plant is fantastic. You definitely should get yourself a couple of these because it will be a very strong grass type for sure. Next up, we got Tyranitar with Smackdown, which is of course is still a fantastic rock attacker. It is going to be outclassed by Rampardos and the newly added Terrakion, but Tyranitar is still going to be fantastic as a rock attacker, and it is going to outperform Rhyperior on the rock side for sure with Smackdown Stone Edge. So Tyranitar is going to be basically the third top best. So if you don't have Rampardos, or if you haven't found any good, or rather if you don't have Rampardos or Terrakion or any particular, you know, stuff like that, then Tyranitar will be a fantastic option for sure. That will be your best budget option, especially since you'll be able to get, if you have gotten a lot of candy from Larvitar, then you should be able to get those Tyranitars with Smackdown with no problem whatsoever. Next up, we got Swampert with Hydro Cannon, which is another force to be reckoned with. Swampert with Hydro Cannon is in fact the best water type starter currently in the game, surpassing Feraligatr. It's not surpassing Kyogre or Kingler, since those two will still be the best water type Pokemon in terms of DPS in particular. Kyogre is actually number one once more because it did recently get that Surf, but as if you don't have Kyogres or Kinglers, then you may want to consider working on the Swampert with Hydro Cannon because it is going to be very good. It's actually the best water type starter, barring Kyogre and Kingler. Like I said, it's going to be a fantastic option for sure. You definitely want to get your hands on a couple of those Swamperts with Hydro Cannon. So there you go. Next up, we got Blaziken with Blast Burn, another fantastic Pokemon, another fantastic one you really want to get though for sure. Blast Burn Blaziken is a very powerful force. It's a very strong fire type, only surpassed by Chandelure currently, and it'll be surpassed by Reshiram and Volcarona when those come into the game. But needless to say, until if you don't have Chandelure, Blaziken with Blast Burn, is going to be your best fire type attacker, even surpassing Moltres, believe it or not, actually. So Blaziken will be fantastic for sure. Definitely want to get your hands on those. Next up, we got Salamence with Outrage, which is another fantastic Pokemon here. Actually, it's only surpassed by Rayquaza currently, if I'm not mistaken. Salamence with Outrage is actually the second best dragon attacker in the game. So if you guys don't have those Rayquazas with Outrage, your next best best option is right here. Solomon's with Outrage. It's a fantastic Pokemon, really strong, and it'll do just as well as Rayquaza. So, and if you can get those Bagons, and that's going to be another fantastic choice there for sure. Then we got Sceptile with Frenzied Plant, which is another strong grass attacker. Not as great as Venusaur or Roserade, but still going to be fantastic for sure. And one thing I forgot to mention in regards to Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, it is going to be fantastic, but it's still going to be outclassed by Roserade with that Razor Leaf and Grass Knot. But nonetheless, Sceptile and Venusaur are both still going to be fantastic either way. Then we got Feraligatr with Hydro Cannon, which is another strong water type outclassed by Swampert. It's not as good as Swampert, but it's still another good choice there. So definitely want to get a couple of those for sure. Torterra or Frenzy Plant is another decent grass type. The only thing I don't like about it is that it does lose that resistance to water because it is grass and ground. But I think Torterra is not bad personally. It's just not as great as the other two grass types. Well, we're talking basically for community exclusives for the most part. But Torterra is still not bad. If anything, it does have a double resistance to electric with that grass and ground type. So it'll definitely survive a lot longer than Venusaur and Sceptile with that ground typing added to its grass typing as well. So it wins in that regard. And then finally we have Charizard with Blast Burn, which is also fantastic for PvP. It's actually really good for PvP for both the Great League and the Ultra League, which I still need to get myself a PvP. I need to get a Great League Charizard with Blast Burn, which I actually do not have one. So I'm pretty excited. I'll finally be able to add one of those to my squad for the most part. So pretty happy about that. And for raids, it's still Charizard with Blast Burn is not bad, but but there are going to be better fire types out there. Like I mentioned before, Blazing it with Blast Burn, it's going to far outpace Charizard. So, but if Charizard's obviously your favorite Pokemon, then you definitely want to get these. It's still not bad, not the greatest, but it's most certainly not the worst. So there you go. So, for PvP, we got Swampert with Hydro Cannon. Of course, I agree with this. However, keep in mind, the Hydro Cannon did get nerfed with the recent move update that we did receive yesterday. So, was it yesterday? No, the day before, sorry. But it did get nerfed in that regards, but it's still it's still going to perform pretty well for sure. Then we got Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, which is fantastic. I personally have a shiny one already in the Great League. I may have to consider trying to get a shiny one for the Ultra League. If I can get one of those, that'd be pretty cool. But other than that, it's still fantastic for both raids and for PvP as well. Umbreon with Last Resort, definitely a must-have for sure for PvP. I personally don't even have one for the Great League, so I need to work on that ASAP. So that's going to be really essential for sure. Then we got Blastoise with Hydro Cannon, which it's not going to be good for raids, but for PvP, it's actually going to be really good for sure. Pretty tanky. And however, I think with Hydro Cannon damage being nerfed, I think it might lose a little bit of value, but I still think it's worth getting for PvP for sure. If you guys do PvP for the majority there. Then we got Charizard with Blast Burn. Like I mentioned before, Charizard with Blast Burn is going to be great for PvP. It's going to also be good in raids, but it's going to be outclassed by other fire types like I mentioned. But still, it's going to be fantastic. It's still going to be good either way. Meganium with Frenzy Plant is going to be really good for PvP. For raids, not so much. But for PvP, Frenzy Plant Meganium is going to be fantastic. I actually still need to get one myself. And I actually do have a shiny Bayleef ready to go for that regard. So, shiny Meganium with Frenzy Plant coming soon. So, I'm going to be pretty excited about that. Then we got Gardevoir with Synchronoise, which I don't think I've actually seen the stats for Synchronoise in PvP. So, that's another decent choice for sure. I don't think it's that great, but, it's something. Tyranitar with Smackdown, not a bad choice either. I think personally it does a little bit better in raids, or if you do use it for PvP, I think it's better with Bite, but I guess to each his own. So it's up to you, really. And then we got Metagross with Meteor Mash, also not a bad option. And then finally Vaporeon with Last Resort, which I actually do need to get one for the Great League. I do have one, I think, for the Ultra League. I have to double check that. But if not, I'll have to work on that as well. So there you have it, guys. So those are the top the high priority ones you want to get your hands on if you focus more on raids. And then these are the ones you want to focus on for PvP. So there you go. So they're gonna go ahead and this is basically why they basically go into full detail about why these Pokemon are good in their regards for sure. So like I mentioned before, Terrakion, Metagross with Meteor Mash is a strong force to be reckoned with, and it does surpass Dialga in on the Steel side with that Meteor Mash. So definitely want to if there's anything you want to work on for sure, 100% definitely has to be the Metagross with Meteor Mash. Fantastic Pokemon. Definitely don't want to miss out on getting that. Great Pokemon here, like I mentioned before, is Venusaur with that Frenzy Plant. It's going to be very strong, especially if Kyogre or Groudon ever come back. So, there you go. And then we got Tyranitar with Smackdown. And Smackdown, it is, like they mentioned here, it is outclassed by Rampardos and Terrakion, but still Tyranitar is still fantastic nonetheless. Then we got Swampert with Hydro Cannon, which is of course the best water type for the starters. Of course, it's still behind Kyogre and Kingler, but Swampert still has his notch for sure. Definitely something you want to consider for sure. And then we got Blaziken. If you don't have Chandelure, Moltres, then Blaziken will be a very solid fire type that you want to invest in for sure. That's pretty sweet for the most part there. Then we got Salamence here, which will be outperformed by Rayquaza, like I mentioned, and then in the future will be outperformed by Zekrom, Kyurem, and its forms, as well as, well, not by Reshiram, I don't think, but it will be outperformed by Zekrom, by Kyurem. So, but still, Salamence is still pretty solid and definitely can get the job done for sure. It's just slightly behind Rayquaza. Then we got Sceptile with Frenzy Plant, also not a bad option for sure. Feraligatr is a solid water type as well, but it's just going to get outclassed by Swampert and other water types, but still a decent option there for sure. Then we got Torterra with Frenzy Plant, not that great, but against electric types, like I said, it may do decent in that regards. Charizard, of course, a fan favorite, definitely not a bad Pokemon. It's going to still be outclassed by other mons as well. So there you go. And then Gardevoir, like they mentioned here, Synchronoise. It's not that great, especially since Psychic got buffed. You definitely will prefer Psychic over Synchronoise for Gardevoir. So, same for Gallade as well. And then Mamoswine, definitely something you don't want to really worry about unless you still need an Ancient Power Mamoswine for some reason. Then, at least get one for PvP, and then you should be okay there. Other than that, you definitely rather have the double ice moveset, which you can currently get access to now anyway. So Mamoswine is definitely one that you don't really want to worry about, as well as Dragonite with Draco Meteor. You don't really need that as well. It's not going to Outrage is going to still be better than Draco Meteor. But if you're a collector and you just want to at least have a Draco Meteor on your squad or full team of it for whatever reason, then go for it. But Outrage is definitely excuse me. Outrage is definitely better in every regards possible for sure. So, yeah, and then these are Pokemon that are going to be shining well in PvP for sure. Once again, Swampert with Hydro Cannon is fantastic. Venusaur with Frenzy Plant. Umbreon with Last Resort. And then we got Blastoise with Hydro Cannon, which is pretty tanky. So, definitely want to consider getting that. Charizard with Blast Burn is also fantastic. Meganium, while it doesn't do well in raids at all, it's still in PvP. It's where it shines. It does really well. Then we got Gardevoir, that Synchronoise, like I mentioned. Tyranitar with Smackdown. I think it'll do better in the Master League, personally, like they mentioned right here. And then Metagross with Meteor Mash is not bad. And then Vaporeon with that Last Resort is not a bad option there. And then there's just some other Pokemon here that can also be decent as well. But we're not going to go into all those in that particular area. But there you go, guys. That's going to be it for this video. Personally, for Pokemon that I think you should really focus on, well, here's a list of the Pokemon you want to focus on for sure. Those are the ones you want to focus on mainly for raids. Because I can tell you guys right now, I can go into a full in-depth guide as to why these Pokemon are fantastic that you want to get these for sure. But what I'll do is I'm gonna leave the link to this article in the description below. If you guys want to check it out for yourselves, I'll have the link to this article in the description below. So if you guys are curious about why these things are good, be sure to check that out, and they'll have all the answers about why these Pokemon are good in that particular field. Same for PvP. These will be the ones you want to focus on for sure. Now, for me personally, what I really am focusing on the majority of, I think I'm focusing a bit more on the PvP side because there are still some stuff I still need to get for PvP purposes. Like, for example, I definitely need to get myself a Last Resort Umbreon because I do not have one. I have a shiny Last Resort Espeon that is in the Great League, but I haven't really messed around with it, and I don't have an Umbreon, so I need to work on that ASAP for sure. Same with Charizard with Blast Burn. That's another high priority I need to get, as well as Meganium with Frenzy Plant. But the good thing is that I do already have so much candy from those from when I did those community days last year. So I'm good on the candy to evolve them. I just have to make sure I have the right. I just get the right Pokemon. I pretty much get the stuff I need so I can evolve them, or rather get the ideal IVs for those Pokemon. And for me personally, I wouldn't mind getting a better IV shiny Bagon just so I can at least have a shiny outraging Mence on my team. But regardless, that's just some of my personal things. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just going to be hunting for the shinies that they didn't get to obtain this year. So, and then of course, if you got, keep in mind that for the 2018 exclusive Pokemon, which is of course going to be Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Pikachu, Dratini, Mareep, Beldum. We have Larvitar as well. Those are only going to be available in raids and eggs, so be sure to grab those eggs and do those raids if you want to get those shinies. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Tyranitar is still in the level 4 raid. So I believe if you do complete a Tyranitar raid during the community day hours, then I'm pretty sure you might be able to get one with SmackDown, but I'm not 100% sure. If somebody can please confirm that for me, that would be greatly appreciated. But I think that is possible, though I'm not really too sure about that. But regardless, those are the things I'm focusing more on for sure. Mainly for PvP because I still need to work a little bit more on my Pokemon for PvP because I got to catch up on the PvP games because I've been slacking on that. And I need to make sure I got to give Kev a formidable challenger out here in the Bronx. Shout out to Kev though. I'm just kidding. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know in the comments below what was your favorite community day featured Pokemon this year and why in the comments below. And good luck tomorrow. Good luck this weekend with your grind, guys. So be sure to get the stuff you want and I'm looking forward to this. So this should be fun. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. And by the time I finish on Sunday, I'll have a full, basically, breakdown of what I was able to obtain throughout the 2 days. So I'm going to be grinding these next 2 days for sure. So I won't be having any uploads for quite some time. And I'm going to still be delaying my whole update as to why I have been gone for quite some time. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming pretty soon. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. Check out Starseek's stream. She's going to be doing a 12-hour live stream for her community in Australia. So check her out. And I'm out of here, guys. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.